G'day guys, welcome back to RC Chronicles. Today we continue the teardown process of my Wltoys 124019 in preparation for turning it into an off-road speed car. In today's episode, we remove all the electronics from the car, the ESC receiver combo, the servo, and we also remove the drive shaft in preparation for putting the Mod 1 gearing in it and for greasing those elusive diffs that don't seem to get greased in the factory. So enjoy, guys. Guys, don't forget, subscribe and smash the bell. Alright guys, it's time to continue on with the teardown of the car. We managed to get the motor mount and motor off. It was an absolute pig to get off. One of the screws actually broke inside the motor mount as it was coming out. So, not sure what we're going to do with that motor mount yet. Maybe drill it out to 2.5mm and tap it to an M3 screw instead of its standard screws. But it's not going to matter with this particular setup because I'll explain that in a minute. But so we've got to get this ESC receiver combo out, and also going to take this servo out because we're replacing it with a JX servo. Now the reason why I said that the motor mount doesn't really matter is because what I'm going to do now is, instead of running the stock gearing on this, I'm actually going to switch this gearing over to the Mod 1 gearing I currently have on my 144001, which is a 26 tooth spur gear and 20 tooth pinion, which should be a pretty good basic ratio for some initial speed runs on off-road with this car. So what I'll do is I will now get this out and the servo, and got to take the drive shaft out, and I'm hoping that we can get the grub screw that is at the end of this drive shaft holding all this stuff in. I'm hoping that will come out with a bit of heat. Nothing so far has worked very well with this car, so I'm not holding a lot of hope, but I'm really hoping it does. If it doesn't, I've got another drive shaft on order, but I'm going to have to wait for it to arrive here from China, which should be a bit of a bummer, but you have to do what you have to do, I guess. So let's see how we go. We'll get this out, and then we'll take out the drive shaft. Servo ESC receiver combo out, and it wasn't stuck down very well because, as you can see, they put on this extra thick stuff to try and put it in crooked, because it actually should have probably gone right in underneath the, I'm not even sure whether it'd fit under there, but this is not staying on anyway. It was mounted incorrectly in the first place, and I did watch another video of a guy upgrading his, and they did exactly the same with his, which is weird because it causes the body to sit on it askew, but not to worry, it's now out. Next up is, sticking to my hand, next up is the servo, which is just a couple of screws from underneath. Alright guys, screws are released from underneath. Got it nice when there's no Wltoys on them and they come out easy. Or super glue, whatever the hell they use. servo is now out as well, and I will keep the servo saver. Alright, the only other thing now to do, preliminary to pulling the drive shaft out, is I think I want to try and just get rid of this so things don't stick to it and crap. So I'll get rid of that, and then we'll come back and get rid of and pull the drive shaft out. Alright guys, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a couple of minutes scrubbing, and all that black gunk is gone. It is now time to tackle removing the drive shaft, and to do that we need to undo the screws on the rear gearbox and the front gearbox and lift the housings up in order to lift the drive shaft out, and in doing that, that'll serve another purpose. It'll enable us to check the greasing of the differentials in the front and rear, because as we all know now, there are so many YouTube videos out there that are saying that are like showing greasing of the differentials of these cars. I'm not going to show that because there's already enough of that out there. I'm just going to show the process of getting out my central drive shaft, which is kind of integral to my Mod 1 rebuild of this car. So it's just stuff that's integral to the build that I'm doing, that I'm showing. These two screws here, then two more here and a couple more on the other side. Two more around here. There we go, we are now. And now the front one has now been released, and I'll have a look in a minute with regard to how well greased up they are. There is some grease in there that I can see, but I don't know how well they are greased. So now it's the same for the rear. These two here, and then there'll be two more at the back. Two more here. Alright, that's the rear one also. So I will pull these up like that. Now that comes out, and that comes out as well, and our drive shaft is now out. And what I talk about is that's a grub screw, unfortunately. There's a grub screw in the end there that needs to come out to release all of this stuff, and if it can't, well then gonna need to chop the drive shaft apart and get a new one. Interestingly, the 144001 has a Phillips head screw in there as a grub screw, and this one has a hex head grub screw, but the instruction booklet for this one actually says that it's the Phillips head like the 144001, so be prepared for difference. It is not, it is a hex head. So hopefully we're going to be able to get that out, because we haven't had much luck with hex head screws, unfortunately, with this Wltoys. Alright, so that is the drive shaft out. Wish me luck with getting that hex out, which I'll be doing in a minute. Well, it definitely rolls well. Alright, so let's have a quick look. Which one's easy to get out? This one here, probably. Alright, well, it looks to be the same sort of deal as I've been seeing on others, where there is a bunch of grease on and around the housing, but no grease on the actual gear itself. So I'll be doing those as well, but as I said, not going to bother filming that. Alright, next up we will try and remove that grub screw. Wish me luck. Well, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. The teardown process is coming along well. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Please consider subscribing and smashing on that bell. It means a lot, helps the channel out, and even if you're a regular and you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. And also, I have a new Facebook page now that I will be posting previews for future videos and exclusive bits of behind the scenes stuff and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to see some of that, or if you're even remotely interested, come along over to the Facebook page. Link will be in the description below, and maybe give it a thumbs up. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm Matt at RC Chronicles. Catch yous later.